So we'll start our practice much like we always start our practice on our heart bed. So you can get good and comfortable butting your butt right up to your bolster. Beautiful. Okay, nice. So go ahead. I'll start the timer here. There we go. And then if you have your bolster or blankets, and if you don't have a bolster, you can use a nice prop is an extra mat. And you can prop your mat up with an encyclopedia or your yoga blocks. So those of you that have an extra blanket, have it handy. We'll need that during our practice today. Beautiful. Nice. Yeah, so go ahead and snuggle in your lower back. Unfurl so that you can really feel supported here. The name of the game here is support. So once the body feels this support, it can let go into it. So notice the spinal column, the whole back body, and each breath. So have the knees bent for a little bit until you start to settle in. And as we breathe here together, you'll feel the heart rise just a wee bit. And as you exhale, the shoulders will sink down softly, draping. So allow the elbows to become heavy. Notice the arms to the fingertips. You can give a few little squeezes and release of the fingers. You might bring one palm down and leave one palm up and twist the arm fibers once or twice, and just notice how the joints of the arm can move from the wrist to the elbow to the shoulders. And then let the knuckles be heavy here. You might want to heel toe your feet a little wider so the inner knees can knock. If you have a little sensitivity, a little discomfort in that lower back, you can go ahead and lift by pressing into both feet and lift the sit bones, the pelvis, and bring a blanket underneath the sit bones, so it's a little less of a back bend. Option to lengthen through one leg at a time and allow the feet to dance wherever you are. Just let the toes move. And then feel that deep relaxation start to seep in here. The eyes are closed. The jaw relaxes. As you start to breathe intentionally now. In through the nose and out through the nose or the mouth. Notice how nasal breathing as you inhale feels like. And as you exhale, notice how the body becomes a little heavier. We're going to come into our alignment breath. So there's going to be a little visualization, so we'll dust off our visionary skills here. So envision just below the feet, the earth. And there's an earth star there, and it can be any golden color, the shades of gold, those earthy tones of red and orange, a brightening. And then sweep your attention, your awareness above the crown, about 6 inches above the crown. There's a light. an effervescence. It might look like a white cloud, glistening, glowing. Let's take 2 cleansing breaths before we bring our breath into this. Take that next inhale all the way in and up through the nose. A light little pause filled with breath here. And then exhale a natural sigh with a and again, pull that breath all the way in and up. Pause filled with breath. And a as you inhale, fill the belly, feel the awareness float downward all the way to that Earth star. As you exhale, feel the awareness sweep up above the crown, gathering some light. Inhaling nice and full and deep. Take your time. Swishing your awareness all the way down. Exhaling it all the way up. And you might have a quicker breath or a slower breath than what I'm suggesting. So please let it. Inhaling through the nose all the way downward. Feel the belly rise. Exhaling all the way upward as we align our chakras, all our energy centers, allowing them to spin and swirl. Halfway now, exhaling all the breath out as you empty the lungs. Inhale, we feel the lungs fill right up. Pause, filled. Exhale, empty. Sweep the awareness up, up, up. And what does that look like? Inhale all the way down. Gather that earthiness. 2 more. Rebounding that earthiness all the way upward as you connect. Inhale, feel that floating sensation downward. Exhale all the way up. And then last one here. Enjoy that exhale all the way as you connect above the crown to the breath of the plants of Mother Nature, to all. As you dive into your next natural breath, notice the effects in your body from the temples all the way downward. Notice the sounds, the frequency. Is there a hum? Are there any shapes? Does the breath feel a little fuller, a little deeper? And as you rest here, all the vital organs rest, the digestion rests. So how about one more breath, allowing the whole body to refresh, reboot, rejuvenate. On your next natural breath, go ahead and bring the palms down into the mat, into the floor. Drag one heel and bend that knee if the legs are straight. And give a little press into the heel, big toe, baby toe. And notice how light you can become on the floor, just to get a little piece of paper underneath the sit bone, so not very high. Lengthen the sit bones down. Take your time feeling that, and then let the sit bones lower. Now 2 pieces of paper, so maybe just a little higher, 4% higher. Lengthen and then lower. So a micro movement, very difficult for the eye to see. Might feel really large in the body though. And then relax that effort. Feel the lower spine and breathe into it now. And then from here, we're going to simply drag the sit bones to one side as you roll to the other side, coming right off of your props. And take the bolster above. So we're going to need the bolster or whatever you were laying on for your support above the crown. So take your time bringing all of that above the crown and then lay flat on your back. You can bring the hands above the crown just to situate that like a crown. And then leave the knees bent for a moment here, just so that you can feel and sense the base of the spine from the back of the pelvis, the sit bone area, all the way to the back of the skull. Give the head a little rock. And then from here, lengthen through one leg and then the other. Give the toes a little wriggle. Knuckles heavy. And observe now. Scan your body from the heels to the toes. Feel the feet and how far they're splayed outward. All the way from the heels up through the Achilles and down through the calf. And notice the lower leg. Is one calf a little heavier than the other? All the way up to the shin. And then dive deeply into the knee, from the center to the top, from the outer knee to the inner knee. Observe the back of the knee and send that silent thank you for this beautiful hinge that works very diligently as it brings you here and there. Dive into the thigh. Feel and notice, is there a hum? All the way down the top, down to the floor. Notice the weight, the fullness. Feel the length of the feet. Does one leg feel a little longer than the other, or are they the same? Feel the sit bones and notice, is one coming down into the floor a little more than the other, or are they level? Do they feel balanced? From the sit bones to the lower spine, that lumbar sacral area, notice one side, the other, how far you're off the mat. To the thoracic spine, just beneath the heart center, that sternum area. And then feel the back of the shoulders after a long held back bend. Nice and heavy on the mat as we countered all that forward motion. Give the head, the back of the skull, just a light little rock and roll here. so that you can feel the tipping spot, the rounding of the skull, just like we've just landed in our bodies for the first time. Witness how the back of the skull feels, the weight, and then come into stillness from where the back of the skull is. Dive into the middle of the brain. Send it a little love, a little of your attention, like an internal smile. Feeling and sensing this area like a glow. And one more breath like that. Then go ahead and send the toes pointing up. Feel all the muscles in the legs switch on. Feel the muscles of the legs press down and the heels press out. Toes to the nose. And then relax that effort. Bend one knee, drag that heel. Feel the muscles that are required for that action. Press into that foot, and then the other one will drag. Press into the other foot now. Feel both feet, happy feet right on the floor now. Let the toes dance that dance of joy with a tap, tap outward and a tap, tap, tap inward. Leave the heels where they are. A little tap out and then a little tap in. And then leave the toes where they feel like they're pointing forward, downward to the bottom of your mat. And then from here, bring the hands on top of the bowl of your pelvis, the iliac crest, just right on the top of the lower belly, where our digestive organs live. Press into your right foot and feel that hip come up off of the floor. Just let it rise. The hand will rise with it. And then let it lower. The hand will come down with it. And then come on over to the other side. Like we're swishing around this liquid, those internal organs of the digestive system, swishing from one side to the other. And just notice the bowl of the pelvis rise on one side and nice and heavy on the other. And what does that feel like in the feet, in the knees, in the back of the pelvis? So how about one more just like this? And then we'll bring this movement, the same movement, into a twist. So let the pelvis rest now. Lift the arms up above the crown until they can lay nice and heavy on your that height right above your head. So you might have your bolster there, you might have a blanket, whatever you have handy above the crown. Hang on to one wrist and let the elbows come outward so that you can feel now into the shoulders, the weight coming down. With the eyes closed, dive into the armpit and notice all the way down through the shoulder. Notice the weight. And then one more breath as you observe that upper triangle from shoulder to shoulder to the middle of the brain. And then feel the feet here. As you take a nice deep inhale, exhale, let the knees sway over to one side and feel the pelvis One side lowers while the other side rises up. And then press into that lower spine through the navel. Let it flatten and press into the floor. Knees will come to center. Notice how that swishing of the pelvis feels like this now as we move into a twist. Pressing into that lower lumbar sacral spine as the knees come through center. Allowing one side to come up as one side comes down. Feel the soles of the feet rolling into the big toe edge, the baby toe edge. Maybe that baby toe edge knee can come downward, where the big toe edge can come outward, like someone's pulling your knee forward as that hip comes up. Then press that hip into the floor, coming over to the other side. Explore. This exploration can be unique to you. The head can roll now. Maybe you've chosen to go the same as the knees with the nose, or the opposite. A little wringing out as the shoulders open up. So how about one more each side, just like that? Head rolling, whatever you've chosen. And then one more the other side. And then come right onto your backs. Let the legs splay out one at a time. Have the arms all the way up towards the ceiling, fingertips to the ceiling. And then relax. Let the shoulders come down, the elbows come down. Hands are still up, fingers towards the ceiling. And then let them rise up. Notice how slow you can go, like the second hand on a clock. No shoulders move like this. So almost like someone's pulling you from the elbows up, and then you bend the elbows. They come down and tap the floor. And then they have lift off. They come upward. And then one more. And then let the hands rest on that lower belly. Feel the digestion right underneath the palms. The thumbs can touch. The first finger can frame the navel. Elbows heavy. Relax and soften, and feel now through the belly to the spine. Through the legs to the toes. Let the toes dance once again. From that lower spine to the shoulders, to the middle of the brain. Take a deep dive there. Each breath, you send a little love. Allow it to unravel and undo any tight knots here. And one more breath, just like that. Give yourself permission to stay there longer, or bend up at one knee at a time. Feel the muscles responsible for this movement. Drag the hips to one side while you roll to the other. We'll get ready for Celtic Cross. So we'll be on our sides. So you can use your lower arm as a pillow. That's what I'll be representing today. Or you can bring a blanket underneath the head and have the arm forward or on top of that blanket. So you can go ahead and bend that lower arm and let the head rest in the lower hand area. And that top arm rest right on that top edge. So we're going to move those shoulders now. Nice. In all four directions. So when you can close the eyes and drag that top shoulder towards the ear like a shrug, that top ear. And then drag it down like you're going to get some money out of your pocket. That pocket right down there. And then rest. We'll do that 2 more times. You're going to bring the shoulder up to the ear. Now that hand that's underneath the head can lift the head towards the shoulder. Never has to get there. Let it come down as you drag the hand down. The head can press down and then relax. And we'll do that 1 more time when you're ready. Shoulder comes up like a shrug. Lift the head with the hand. Then press the head into the hand as the arm drags down. And then relax that effort. With the arm resting on your side here, feel the shoulder initiate the movement forward. As it comes forward, feel those chest muscles, maybe the belly muscles contract, and then let the shoulder come backward and notice the side of the spine, the back of the shoulder switch on, all of those muscles, and then relax. We'll do that 2 more times. Let the shoulder move first, forward. Notice the chest muscles, the belly. They might switch on. As the shoulder rolls backward, feel all the back body muscles like an arcing sensation. And then relax. And we'll do that 1 more time. Notice what you're feeling with the eyes closed so that you can witness from the inside out. And then allow the whole body to relax as you breathe deeply in through the nose, out through the nose or the mouth. We'll bring that all together now in a circular motion. On your next natural breath, go ahead and drag the shoulder towards the ear. Let it roll forward. Drag it downward. And then let that shoulder come back and then up. Forward, super slow. Trace all 4 directions down, then back, and then up. And then allow the shoulder to move in a circular motion, a little smoother. Notice if there's any grindy or creaky bits. You might want to go in a semicircle if there's any discomfort, or maybe a little smaller. And then what's the other direction like? So notice the other direction as you gently, softly start to move in that circular motion the other way. And then when you feel complete and you'd like to relax, let yourself roll onto your back. The knees can remain bent, or you can lengthen out and feel from one shoulder all the way through the floor to the other shoulder. From one shoulder through the clavicle, the collarbone to the other shoulder. Notice if your shoulders have a frequency, a sound to them. Does one feel like it's large and the other one a little smaller? Or sometimes one might feel a little dense, really super heavy, and the other one just super light. From the shoulders to the toes, notice the whole body now. And one more breath just like that. Go ahead and bend up at the knees and drag your hips to the other side while you gently come on over to your other side. So just let yourself roll to your other side and use your lower arm as your pillow. If you really like that effect of lifting the head, you can always bring a pillow or a blanket underneath your arm. And then rest your arm right on top of that upper hip. And notice this shape. On your next natural breath, you can drag that top arm. The shoulder will drag it up to the ear and then downward. So let the shoulder do the work. That arm stays on that upper edge of your body. The shoulder moves it up like a shrug. You lift the head towards it. Then you press the head into the hand and drag the arm down. And then relax all of those muscles. And then we'll do that 2 more times. Drag the shoulder up to the ear, head comes to meet and greet. Drag it down, press the hand down with the head, and ha. And one more for good luck, a little shrug, a little lift of the head. Press downward, drag the shoulder, and whew. Any weight of the world that you might have been carrying is now starting to dissolve, melt. I like to visualize our shoulders as these mountains, these amazing glaciers, and all that snow and ice is melting now. So go ahead and take the shoulder now forward. Let it roll forward. Feel the chest muscles, the belly muscles switch on as you do so. And then take that upper shoulder back. Notice the back body. You might feel it like an arcing sensation. And then relax as much as you comfortably can. 2 more times. Let the shoulder roll. Leave the arm on that upper edge as you do so. Pause with it forward and feel the muscles responsible. And then roll that shoulder back. When it's far back, pause and feel all those muscles in the back body. And then relax. And we'll do that 1 more time. Shoulder comes forward as far forward as it comfortably can while you're on your side. And then you pause. Feeling and sensing the shoulder roll back. A light little pause just for a moment to observe internally. And then relax. And we'll bring that all together on this side now. So on your next natural breath, go ahead and shrug that shoulder to the ear. Let it roll forward. Take your time dragging it down. And then let it roll backward. You might pause in each location, upward, forward, down, and back. Maybe one more like that. Noticing each location as you visit. And then now smooth it out in that nice smooth circular motion. Notice how the shoulder can move like this. Two or three times plenty, and then the other direction. Notice all the little sounds, any snap, crackle, pops, any bumps, any creaks, any stickiness. It's the noticing. And then as you feel complete, let yourself relax onto your back. The knees can remain bent if you choose, or you can lengthen through one at a time. Feel through the shoulders. Notice how they feel and what you can hear. They have the privilege of being right there by the ears. Maybe you can hear that frequency, that hum, that somatic buzz. Let the jaw relax and soften. Feel the torso to the hips, through the legs to the toes. And then one more breath, just like that. Then go ahead and drag the hips to one side and roll to your side body. Use that momentum to bring you upward so that you can take your blanket. So here's where we're going to use our blanket for the art of folding. So at first, it's going to be about this size. And then you'll fold it once, and then twice, and then place it widthwise right down on your mat. From there, bring your forearms down onto it so that it feels like the bottom of your shoulder blade area, it might be where your bra strap is, thereabouts, is on the blanket. And then bring one hand behind the back of the skull and slowly lower it to the floor. Arms are out like a T. And you can sense and feel this lift. Even though it's not very big, it might feel huge in the body. So notice the rib cage splayed open. All that soft tissue will start to settle. So go ahead and leave the knees bent and heel toe the feet wide so the bands up and down the back body can slacken. And just feel and sense this shape. Let the jaw relax a little more. Feel the hands now and let one palm come down and leave one palm up. Feel the thumbs and press them into the floor. Leave the arms on the floor and roll one palm down, so alternate now, and one palm up, and press the thumbs into the floor. Alternate from side to side. One palm comes down, one palm up, press the thumbs, and then one more time like that. Now leave one palm up, one palm down, and let the knees roll towards the palm that's up. Notice the hip and the bowl of the pelvis. Press into that lower back. Let the knees come to center, flip the palms, and let the knees roll to the palm that's up. And now we're moving like this, a light little twist as we gently roll from side to side. The arm fibers twisting, lower spine, and that stubborn part of the spine, the thoracic spine, a beautiful back bend, a little nudge here and there. And we have one more add-on to this. So know that these add-ons, these variations that we go into are invitations. So you can decline. You can stay in stillness or move like this. Or you can take now one hand on the sternum, on the heart center, follow it through the shoulder, roll the knees in that direction, maybe to the elbow, maybe to the wrist, and then all the way back. So it can be even smaller, and let it unfurl. And then the other hand comes into the heart center, traces to the shoulder. Maybe that's enough for some bodies. Maybe the elbow, maybe the wrist. And then coming back 2 or 3 times, plenty. Feeling and sensing the whole rib cage opening up, becoming a little bit more pliable, coming into the elastic quality, a little mindful compression. So 2 more breaths here, wherever you are, either in stillness or in gentle movement. Feel and sense the body. Perfect. Then go ahead and roll to one side. Take what's underneath your back, so you'll come to one side and let yourself come up just a wee bit to take the blanket lengthways now. And let the back come right into it. So the roll will be at the lower back, the sit bones will be on the floor, the head will be on the roll, arms to your side. So right up and down the spinal column. So we can call this our mitra. Mitra meaning back's friend in Sanskrit. So allowing the whole spinal column to feel the support all the way through. Sweep your attention downward and all the way up to the back of the skull. Knees can remain bent to slacken the bands up and down. So heel toe your feet wider. Let the inner knees knock. And then go ahead and bring the palm, one palm down and one palm up. Press the thumbs into the floor. And again, alternate from side to side. A little press. Noticing what you feel. Nice. And then relax that effort. Come into stillness for a breath or two. Then from here, go ahead and lift the arms upward so that the fingertips touch, like you're holding a sphere of healing energies between the palms. Let the fingers come downward and then all the way down towards the pelvis and up in a circular motion. The eyes are closed. You can make this your own, feeling into the shoulder blades, rolling on either side of the blanket. So maybe 2 or 3 one way, and then you can reverse that. And you might want to come in a zigzag from one side to the other. The elbows can bend, and just noticing, feeling and sensing the fingertips touching, moving the arms. And what are your shoulder blades doing into the blanket now? And then you can relax the arms down. Feel and sense the back body as it starts to morph into this shape. 2 more breaths, just like that. And then let yourself roll right off into the floor, but keep the blanket now, just like it is, and bring it right over to your side, close to your pelvis. So we're going to tug that roll from one hip to the other, right underneath our sacrum in a moment. So with the knees bent, feel how flat the back is on the floor, from the hips to the shoulders. Notice what you feel, that sensation in the shoulder blades on the floor, a little rock of the back of the skull. A lot going on as all that tension, known or unknown, starts to dissolve and melt away after we give it a little nudge, a little mindful compression. And then one more breath, just like that. Then the knees can come away. You can walk the feet towards the sit bones, hip distance, around hip distance, as long as you can feel a little power in the feet. Bring the palms down by your side. Take a deep breath there. As you exhale, let the shoulders come downward to the floor and hold that press. Feel the length of the arms press, and then the feet. Let the pelvis come up and take that roll right underneath the sacrum, the back of the pelvis. You can even come to the top of the bowl from the iliac crest, draw a line down right to the blanket, and it'll be right underneath the pelvis. And then go ahead and give the back of the skull a little rock from side to side. And notice now we're in a inversion here. So the hips, the belly is over the heart over the sinuses, even just a little bit. Super nice for our digestive organs to start to move like this. Then go ahead and let the head rest, nose pointing a little, the chin might be a little closer to the heart center now. You can lift one foot up and then the other, so that the shins might be parallel with the ceiling or the heels might be down towards the sit bones. And then bring the hands into the knees and see if you can feel the thighs come a little closer to the belly, and then press them away from the belly. Bring them in towards the belly for just a light little squeeze in and then away. And then one more like that. Then take the hands to the side of the knees. Let them drag down to the hips till the elbows touch. And then let the knees come over to one side so you can feel the hands drag. One drags up to the top of the knee, the other hand to the hip. And then you move from side to side like that. One hand comes down while the other hand comes up. So just a light roll on the pelvis, a light little massage like this, from side to side. And now we'll bring that into a circle. So let the knees come to one side, then towards the belly, over to the other side, a little bit away, in a circular motion, just like that. Feeling and sensing a little bit of a circle. Eyes are closed. 2 or 3, plenty one way, and then gently the other direction. Feeling the hands on the outer edges of the legs. The core is working here. So how about one more, just like that? Then let one foot come down to the floor at a time. Feel the pelvis now. Let the feet rest on the floor. Slowly let the knees sway to one side. So you're rolling over on the soles of the feet from one side to the other. So you can sense now this, a little massage of the back of the pelvis into the blanket, into your support. And one more breath, just like that, a little sway of the knees from one side to the other. And then let the knees come to center. Walk them a little closer to the sit bones. Feel the arms by your side, palms down. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, feel the shoulders press and hold that press. Press into the floor through the arms, the fingers. Hold. Heels, big toe, baby toe. And hover the sit bones over the blanket so you can take the blanket out. Leave the pelvis up now. And then roll from the top of the spine, one vertebrae at a time. like it's a pearl necklace. One pearl at a time. Find the floor until the very bottom. And we'll come into just a light little arc and flatten of the lower spine. So the tail can come down into the spine and then press into the navel and flatten. Again, from the tail coming down, you arc and then you flatten the spine. So 2 more just like that, just a little arcing sensation, and then you flatten. And 1 more, arc, and then flatten. Use the blanket as a blanket. Take your bolster underneath the knees or the thighs here for your last pose of the day, Shavasana. So you might want to take your blanket and really nestle in and keep all of that warmth in. You can have something over the eyes if you'd like. Come into whatever feels good here, where you can really sink and soften into the floor. Nice. Let the eyes close and the muscles around the eyes soften. Feel that melting quality through the facial tissues as the jaw starts to slacken a little more. Shoulders sink down a little more. You feel that relaxation response all the way down like a weight through the back body, the hips, the legs. Feel that softness in the soles of the feet, like they can breathe. Receiving, receiving, receiving. And allow yourself to rest right there. Poem by Wendell Berry, The Peace of the Wild Things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and children's lives might be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests, in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of the wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethoughts of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day, blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world, and I am free. The peace of the wild things. The card that was drawn for our practice tonight, divine change. Even one small change can have a great effect. Divine change. Even one small change can have a great effect. Let the breath deepen here. Feel the awareness slowly, slowly come upward to the coolness on the skin. Feel the movement through the fingers and the toes and how the body wants to wake up into its new normal. A long, luxurious stretch, a hugging inward, a roll from side to side. Let yourself land on one side. Feel that psychic hand come and pat you on the back for showing up here. Let the corners of your mouth curl up and all that warmth flood in as you connect to that power, your inner grin. Use that powerful you now to press into the floor. Let the head remain heavy all the way up as you roll up into your comfortable seat. So find your comfortable seat. Today I'm in Virasana in hero pose with the knees bent almost like a thunderbolt, just a little zigzag. So the knees never have to bend, but if you'd like to explore, please do. And then feel the spinal column nice and tall like an antenna, all the way up, 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 through the palate, through the crown, nice and tall. Bring the palms together and feel that warmth of appreciation towards yourself for showing up. Thumbs at the sternum with a little press of support. Take a deep breath into it and a light little bow. As you pour this support and this kindness out beyond these walls to all. Namaste. And thank you for your practice.